Thank you so much for coming see Scooby Doo. I love you so much. Mwah! Thank you, André-Anne.
My pleasure.
Well, jeepers! You're listening to Smash or Pass.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another interview on the JayBee and Milly channel. I am JayBee, and of course, with me is Milly.
Hi.
And the special returning guest with probably the best glasses that we've ever had on this series is André-Anne LeBlanc. Thank you so much for joining.
Hi, everybody. So happy to be here.
They are really, really cool. Like, oh,
Thanks.
they definitely
I got
put
them
mine
in
to shame,
London.
yeah. Oh,
I got them
really?
in London. Yeah. I
Oh.
like to shop when I'm in the UK.
Oh gosh, I mean, me too. I mean, London is just
Mm.
such an incredible place. But of course, welcome back to the show. It's so incredible to have you here. Of course, people that have been watching this series since the very beginning will know you as Professor Falcone from Scooby Doo and the Lost City of Gold, amongst other characters, which we'll get into as well. But just to reintroduce you back into this realm, of course, you've been a puppeteer for over 20 years now. But before that point, what made you want to go into puppeteering?
Well, I saw a specific type of puppetry when I was I don't know, maybe 19 or 20 years old. I saw puppeteers doing a cabaret style, a little bit like as if little cabaret musical mini singers were singing jazz songs and performing and sometimes stripping a little bit. They were so cute, like little mini drag queens, and that really, I fell in love with that style. And now I'm of the same company. I direct the company, and I still tour with them all around the world. So I've been working, of course, on many projects, but it's fun. It's a fun fact to say that my main project today is the first thing that caught my attention into becoming a puppeteer, which is not a profession you hear every day. But since then, I had the chance to tour a lot with Scooby-Doo, amongst other things, Scooby-Doo and the Lost City of Gold. But I also work for TV, for children shows, and wonderful life I've had of traveling the planet. Very, very excited about all the wonderful people I got to meet. Incredible artists of circus, cabaret, variety. It's a great, great life.
It certainly is. It's a great career, and we're really excited to go into each one of those parts. But I guess on the puppeteering, I know you said there was one show in particular that you remember seeing. Is there any puppeteers in particular that you admire or remember that that inspired you to go down that path?
Well, there's many, of course, but I really like the work of my master, which is Serge Deslauriers. I've never seen anything equal to what he does, and I'm very, very lucky to have been his pupil and his how do you say, trainee, let's say, for all those years. And there's also Duda Paiva. Duda Paiva is he works in a similar style that I like, in the sense of he works with puppets that are part human body and part foam, or part fabric and stuff. So it mixes dance and physical expression with puppetry. So the puppets is kind of half your body and half the puppet, and do the paiva. And same in Cabaret de Cadance, the company that I tour with and I direct at the moment, and for 20 years. Same thing. I like when the body is involved in some way, more than just something that you move on a table. Or other than that, I did a really cool workshop last year with Pam Arciero, which is one of the Muppeteers, believe it or not. And she got us to perfect that type of puppetry that you all know and love, which is the Jim Henson style, but under you kind of under and you work like this, you see. So that style. And as well, I did a wonderful workshop in Taiwanese puppetry, which is called Budaihi. And it's a style where I have one just there looking at me. and they spin the puppets, and the puppet they battle. They kind of little glove puppet, and they battle like little samurai, you know. Pew, 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 pew. And the puppeteers, they throw the puppet in the air, and then they spin in the air, and they catch it. So there's all sorts of puppetry out there. I'm telling you, it's a world in itself.
Oh, see, because like puppetry, I think even since we last spoke, I think I've seen a lot more of a resurgence, on the adult side of things. The Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared series was huge here in the UK. And as far as Disney's concerned, there's so many fans that want them to do more with those Jim Henson Muppet creations. And so I think that's caused a lot of people to be more interested in going into puppetry as a profession. So do you have any advice for those wanting to go into that avenue on how they can do that, and just any tips and tricks?
Well, to be a puppeteer, you have to be passionate by giving life to something that is not alive. So start with what you have under your hand, If you cannot have fun with a paper tissue, maybe you're not gonna have fun with a $20,000 puppet either. You need to really be passionate by taking anything around you and seeing what does it want? What does this object want? Where is his nose? Where is it looking? What is his purpose in this little story you would make in your head, So it starts very small. And then when you understand what's its rhythm as well, because the rhythm is a big part of puppetry. You have to decide what's the voice of your character, what's its rhythm, how does it talk, how does it what is it afraid of. So it's a little bit similar to when you draw animation, for example. It's more than just choosing the name and the colors. You have to really build the personality. And sometimes the puppet will tell you what is their personality. It's not you to decide. You just have to look at it and listen to it, and it will have its own rhythm, and the voice will come to you when you look at it. And I'm so happy that puppetry has a bigger place, as you said, in the musical world. Like you see more and more, like there was King Kong, I think, and there's even Winnie the Pooh that is touring with big puppets. So I'm really loving to see the musical theater world embrace the puppet. Like, the biggest example is, of course, The Lion King, which is packed with amazing
Oh
puppets.
yeah.
And War Horse, I don't know if you know that show. It's like the horses are so realistic, it's bluffing, really. So hooray for puppetry.
I mean, definitely. Oh gosh, that Lion King as well. Speaking about London, every time we're in London, we try and see the showing of the Lion King there is just absolutely groundbreaking. But of course, speaking about groundbreaking, in our first part, and we've mentioned it briefly here, but you co-founded Cabaret de Cadance. I hope I'm pronouncing that all right. But like, can you tell us more about what it's been like to go on the journey with them, and some of the shows that you've overseen in that time?
So I was not of the original founder, but it's now I now direct the company, and I'm on stage as well. And with my husband helps me to be my agent in a way of negotiating the contract and all the boring stuff, but it has to be done. And with Cabaret de Cadance, we don't have a full feature show, but we sell little acts, just like a circus act. It's not like we offer songs where the character perform the songs. And sometimes it's we make little package of 3 or 4 songs, and sometimes we join those acts to bigger show, like dinner shows mainly. Or we were performing in La Clique just last Christmas in Leicester Square. And Leicester Square is really the center of London. There's a big German Christmas market there, and in the middle there's a Spiegel tent, which is a kind of a big top, but 1920 style, like all in velvet and gold and wood, really 1920 spirit. It's really fun to be inside, and it works very well with the puppets of Cabaret de Cadance, which are like personality from another time, a little bit like old fashioned divas. So that's what we did for, I think it was 2 or 3 months in a row, sometimes 2 shows a day. So that's been my last project with Cabaret de Cadance, but it continued. Now the high season is coming. There's all the Fringe Festival. I don't know if you know them. It's where all the theater, cabaret, music come together and show their stuff. So I might be, fingers crossed, I don't want to jinx it, in one of them. And yeah, there's also the Cabaret de Cadance puppets are also part of other shows that I produce. Also, this is something I don't want to tell you too much, but we are working on some big things across the globe with the puppets. So stay
Oh,
tuned.
it all sounds really exciting. And as you were starting to say there, you know, traveling seems to be a big part of what you do. I know certainly in the bio for Scooby-Doo and the Lost City of Gold on their website, it highlights just how much you've traveled throughout your career. Do you have any favorite memories or favorite places that you visited?
You know, UAE is up there. I'm just back, and it was really striking. You feel so safe. Everything is has a vision. It's really UAE and Dubai in particular, but as Abu Dhabi as well. We're gonna get to it, but it's really in the future. It's like we're already in 2030 and more.
Oh,
Like
wow.
there's not a lot of history because it's really young, you know. It used to be 50 years ago, it was just sand. But no, we have to verify those facts.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's the new world, and they have a vision there, and it's going fast. Like the building are just and they're all crazy shapes, crazy colors there. It's a bit like a kind of Vegas, but much bigger, you know. And it really seduced me, the way that it was so excessive as well. They have the biggest of this, the biggest this thing in the world, and they always, you know, they want to always innovate. And I was in Expo City, which was a place where also oriented in sustainability, and a lot of opportunity for many people for the countries around. So it's not perfect, no country's perfect, of course, but it really inspired me. Of course, Scotland is really interesting because it's like going in middle age, or not in the mentality, of course, but in the
Oh, yeah.
historic building. It's so good. Edinburgh, I really love it, and I love Denmark. I have great memories in Denmark. We go with another show of mine, Majestic. We go every year in Denmark, in Aalborg, little town, that university student town, and they have a theater there called Skron. And then we have a lot of memory there. So all over. Oh, and Cape Town was good, in South Africa 2 years ago. We loved playing there. Amazing people. It's really a blessing, really.
It certainly sounds so incredible to be able to see all of those places, and certainly, you know, hopefully we'll be able to add a few more to the list, or at least we're hoping so, and we'll get onto this. But another visit back to the UK with Scooby-Doo. So getting on to Scooby-Doo a little bit further, so you play Professor Falcone. Am I pronouncing that correctly? We're just checking pronunciations throughout this entire thing. Is it Falcone or Falcone? We've pronounced it both ways.
Falcone, I think.
Falcone.
Yeah. I'm not
Okay.
even sure myself. I know that in the play we pronounce Professor Falcone.
Falcone. Okay, perfect. So do you remember how your work on the show came about?
Actually, I auditioned the full process for the previous Mon Love show. I'm wearing my Mon Love necklace
Oh,
with
Oh,
my
wow.
wow.
Scooby-Doo, with my Scooby-Doo pass and
Oh, that's
my Falcone.
brilliant.
My
That is
Falcone.
amazing.
So this is Falcone for people. So we talk about something that we all have an image. This is an image of the character. And so yeah, I was saying that I did the full process of the audition for the previous show, which was the Nut Job Live. So there was a movie called The Nut Job. I don't know if you remember it. It was a little squirrel and everything. So Mon Love did the Nut Job Live, which is similar concept, like with motion, projection, a lot of furry character, and a lot of puppetry and dancing and singing. And so that's why they already knew me when it was time to fill the casting for Scooby-Doo and the Lost City of Gold. They were looking for a puppeteer that could potentially play the character of Professor Falcone. So they needed a puppeteer that can also act, dance, because we are part of the chorus of all the group choreography. So that's not everybody can dance choreography like that. And also they needed somebody who can sing. I didn't really know if I could sing back in the day, but I said I could, and in the end I can. But I was in training to really reach it. Like, it's one thing to just reach the note, but you have to have the technique to not hurt your voice when you're on stage over and over again. So yeah, it was a bit of a guess for the singing part. I knew I would be strong puppeteer, of course, and I know I can act decently, but the voice, I was a bit insecure. But in the end, everything is going very well.
'Cause I'm a scientist. I'm a scientist. 'Cause if you look at the facts and you follow the tracks, we found how chemicals interact. 'Cause I'm a scientist.
Oh, that's absolutely amazing to hear, because if there's one thing that I could imagine being a real roller coaster in terms of the whole touring, is immersing yourself in the character of Scooby-Doo. And of course, in the part one interview that we did, for people watching, I'll leave that linked in the description as well. But you said that you weren't too familiar as such with the shows, but now at this stage, having learned about the characters from the show, having acted on stage with, the Daphne, Velma, Shaggy, and those characters, like, is there one that you've picked up on from your time working on the show that has, like, resonated with you in particular?
You mean which character or which moment?
Which character, say, speaks to your personality more, or kind of like the most fun that you have on stage with those characters?
Well, of the character that because there's also a character that you don't necessarily know because they were created for this production. But good question. It's strange because Falcone, she doesn't spend a lot of time on stage with the four main characters, So yes, there's a scene or two where she's with them, but they kind of doing their own thing. But there's another character that I spend a lot of time on stage with as a puppeteer. It's the Ayar Manco. And the Ayar Manco, you saw it. He's got the big golden crown. He's got the mask, and he's got the stick. And you saw in the images that he has a emerald jaguar, like a big giant puppet jaguar. So this character, played by Justin LaPena, is my favorite character because he's larger than life. He's got so much swag. He's really the way he moves his body, he's got a lot of sensuality, and the voice of the character is insane. It's really beautiful voice. And I play Pat Cutie, which is, you're gonna see on the images, it's the three little genies, the little blue genies. So they are the sidekick of the Ayar Manco in the play. So we follow him everywhere, and we're like three little child that are up to no good. So, and there's a really cool carnivorous plant that we play also in a show. It's a puppet, and it's just you know, the head of the plants with the teeth, and they attack Scooby-Doo and Shaggy. So that's also a lot of fun because we get to kind of bite them and play hide and seek with the characters. So that's another fun moment.
That's lovely. That is so cool. I really do wish I could see that. That almost reminds me of like a Little Shop of Horrors, like an Audrey 2,
Yeah.
like oh, that's incredible. And you know, one thing that kind of is fascinating to me as well, because I did re-listen to our part one, and that was before the first public, you know, showing of of the show had happened. So that's crazy to then find that out, because now we've kind of had a few showings to the public now. And in terms of your interactions with the audience and also the Scooby-Doo fans that come up to the show, what have that been like?
Well, my favorite moment with the audience is, oh, I cannot say that. Wait a minute. I have to think. I have to think because I have to. Okay. My favorite moment is when the main characters, so the Scooby-Doo and Shaggy are missing, and Daphne, I'm gonna tell it, Daphne and Fred and Velma, they are shouting, Scooby-Doo, where are you? And then the kids answer. You know, and then they say, we need more power, we need more volume, everybody with me, Scooby-Doo, where are you? And then you hear the kids that are so into it, they scream with all their heart because they're missing, you know, so they're trying to find them. So that's one of the cute moment with the crowd. And sometimes we have like kids that come see us before the show because their parents are involved in some way in the production. It's not, or they have a VIP package or stuff, and then they come see us when we're in full characters, all of us. And I can imagine that even for an adult, even I look at you, even for you guys, you would be pretty excited to see all the characters in full makeup, full hair, and interacting with you. They must feel so special. We try to make them feel special, and you know, we really play the character even if we're not on stage yet, you know, for those little souls that have sparkle in their eyes when they look at us. It's really special.
It certainly sounds like it's an amazing show, and we've heard so many good things about the people that have managed to go and see it, and just how they felt being in the audience and that interaction. It's always been really positively spoken of. So for you, what's it actually been like to play Professor Falcone?
Oh, I've been loving every minute of it. I don't think there's a better moment in my life than when I go on stage with that character. I get so excited in the wings, like when it's my turn to go. Oh, I love this character because I love its personality. I really love to be able to sing on stage. That's not something I do every day, you know. When you puppeteer, sometimes you work on tracks, so you don't really sing or talk. But I really like the standing that the costume gives. So I'll show you a couple of photos. You can put it in your video, but the costume is amazing. And I'm wearing those 9-inch platform that makes me look very tall. The costume is really Givenchy kind of. It has black and white lines. It looks a little bit like a tuxedo, but it looks like a dress, a cape, pants at the same time, like a jumper. I love fashion. So that is also part of the fun. I love that she's a botanist. She's a specialist of all the plants, all the, you know, all the flowers, and it's really a blessing. Of course, being a puppeteer in the show is also very fun because I have a fun part in the show in the sense of I always run around like a turkey. Like I go in a wing, and then they change me. They're two changing me, and I go back on stage. I'm somebody else. I go back. I'm someone else. Oh, this time I'm a puppeteer. This time I'm a dancer. This time I'm Falcone, and then it goes on and on and on. So this is what's not to love. I don't have time to look at my phone. I don't know what time it is. I don't know what's going on. I'm just the minute the show start, I don't have 2 minutes to think. I'm just in the moment.
It
What's
sounds
not to love?
amazing. It sounds so exciting. It really does. And so, like you said, you get a fantastic kind of array of characters that you get to do. Like say Professor Falcone, just been one. What I appreciate, there's going to be some elements that perhaps you can't say because it incorporates part of the story and things like that. But what can you tell us and the people listening about the characters that you do play?
What can I say? Well, I can say she's in her mid-40s, which I wasn't when I started, but now I am. Because we started in just before the pandemic, so now we are a couple of years later. She is probably of French-Italian origin. It's not very clear, but she has some sort of an accent on top of my accent, so I'm trying to put a strange accent, which is a mix. And she looks very rich, like the way she the way she looks at people, and the way she hangs, the way she holds her body. She's very classy. I don't know if she has a lot of money, but she definitely has a lot of class. She's a scientist. She works in lab, and she has a massive plant conservatory, all made of glass. So probably she's doing well in life. She has people working for her. What else can I say? She's worried when things disappear. I cannot say more than that. And she finds Velma very endearing. Why do you think? Because Velma is also a bit of a scientist. She's the brain. So they both are woman, force and human brain.
That's wonderful. And in terms of really crafting that character, when we spoke to Connor Briggs, he said that when he got cast as Fred, he went back to the Mystery Incorporated animated series, and that really helped him inform how he was going to portray the role. Now, with Professor Falcone not really having that animated equivalent, was it more difficult for you to find how you were going to play Professor Falcone, or was it in fact a bit more freeing because you possibly didn't need to worry about if someone was coming into it expecting one type of version of the character over another?
Oh, it was I think it was easy because I didn't have to worry about the brand of the character. So, and I think I've always played her the way she is now. I'm pretty sure my audition was pretty similar, except the costume was the same accent, the same voice, the same mannerism as you're gonna see on stage. We could play even a little second or two of the audition because I have it.
Oh, wow.
It was a self-tape, and so it's interesting to see like a couple of seconds of the audition and a couple of seconds of the final character. But yeah, I mean, the character is supposed to be very classy, like she's confident and stuff, but the more it goes, the more I want to find the comedy in the character. Like I want to find comic release in little sound that she makes, or little gesture, or little faces, or more pantomime gesture that are fixed in space. So I'm always exploring to make her a little more endearing that maybe she was in the beginning, because she has this distance. I don't know if you can imagine the character, but she's up there, but so I wanted the kids to fall in love with her more, and not say who's that one. Who does she think she is? So I wanted to bring the comedy aspect to it, and I'm still working on little thing. Every recording we have at the intern level, we can have the recording of the show, and every show I try little things, and then I look, and then I said, this one didn't get very much reaction, so I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna try this, until you get like the perfect track visually and on the sound, because you can't change the words. The script is the script, but you can change little the rhythm. You can change how you deliver it. It's fun, and it's never stopped. The moment you fix it, that's when it becomes boring. You have to always surprise yourself.
That's really interesting, because obviously Professor Falcone has always been such a big part of, our conversations and stuff, because, that's the human character. You would think that we could maybe relate to her more often, but there's also the youngest, Pat Cutie, one of the Inca gods who you play as well, who just sounds to be so funny. Like, maybe, I could just imagine going to see it and the Pat Cuties being my favorite part of the show. So what's it been like to play that little Inca god?
Oh my goodness. So my Pachacuti, we named him Timmy. So he's the youngest, and he wants to be the favorite. So if he's working very hard to be the favorite of the Ayamanko, and he's always trying to put himself. He's the smallest, the youngest, and he's also acting up. Like sometimes the Ayamanko is pointing his golden staff at him, and he tries to grab it. But at the same time, when the Ayamanko is forgetting things, he's running after him. You forgot this, master. So he's kind of trying to act like the teacher's pet. The puppet itself is wonderful, made by Patrick Martel and his team. The puppet is super light. Mechanism is just like butters. It really doesn't ask much from the physical part, and his feet is our feet. So basically, we manipulate the puppet in front of our chest, and it goes to the floor, and the feet are my feet. So when he dances, I just need to move my feet, and it's the character that's dancing. So it's really fun to play Timmy and the two other Pachacuties, because I feel that the kids identify to those characters. The small kids, maybe not the 12 years old, but the smaller ones, they identify, and because we hear them giggle when they play. One point in the show, Ayamanko asked the Pachacuties, yes or no, and he's like, and then they caucus, they're like, and then he says yes, no, and then you can hear the kids in the room, yes, no, like, instead of giving an answer. So they're up to they're little how do you say, little rascals. I don't know, they're up to no good. They like to act up, and but they're very endearing.
They certainly sound it. And I mean, there's so much to love about the show, from the characters and the soundtrack as well. We heard the album and it was incredible. When we first spoke, I know you'd said that one of your favorite songs was I'm a Scientist, but from doing the shows and audience interactions and how they receive things and that sort of thing, has that ever changed, or is that still your favorite?
No, my favorite is I think of course I'm a Scientist because I have solos in it. But and also I'm a Scientist not just because of that, it's because it's a hip hop song. Like the rhythm is a little bit like this, and the it's catchy, and the music is wonderful. The music by Ella Louise Allaire and Martin Lord Ferguson, the people that created the whole show, not just the ideas, but also the music and the score and everything. And no, the song. What is the song? It's the one that with the slap guitar. What is it? The name is
Is it
Dreamland.
Dream? Yeah.
Dreamland. Yeah, Dreamland. Then the doors will open up, you'll be in dreamland. It's and the Pat Cuties are dancing on that one,
Oh.
and Ayamanko is center character of the song. So yeah, it's really good because it's got that 70s vibe, really given by the guitar, and the projection are as hallucinogenic, you know, like ooh, like really, you know what I mean, like all the weird bright color, fluoro color shapes and spirals, and it's like very groovy.
No, it certainly sounds amazing. And I feel like, certainly more than anything, this is making me want to see the show because like the way you're describing things, I just want to be able to see it and like know exactly what it is you're meaning. Although certainly I'm managing to picture it and it does sound like it is a great show. So initially went on tour in January of 22, and I know recently you've been on tour again, so in April of 24. What is having those breaks in between like? Do you still remember all the songs? Is it that there's a bit of a process behind the scenes, ready to get back into things?
Yeah, so this time I'm glad you asked because so the production it needs certain things to be able to accept. Of course, we cannot play it anywhere we want, and it's not something to be taken lightly as the Warner Brother consumers brand. It's a show that costs a lot to tour, and it's a show that is a heavier side. You know, it's a big production. You don't just take it. So because of that, and because we only accept the best opportunity, the best arenas, the best theater, we it took a bit of a time before we find the sweet spot, which was the Etihad Arena, the very prestigious Etihad Arena in Yas Island in Abu Dhabi. But so because it took quite a bit of time between our last show and this one, we were a little bit rusty. So we had to do a lot of work on our part to refamiliarize with the show, take our book, remember all our lines, remember all the songs. At one point, we were singing gibberish because the words, the music was still there, but the word was like, what am I saying in that thing? You know what I mean? So it's been a lot of work pre-hand, and then when we arrive in the arena, we did also a couple of Zoom meeting before, and then when we arrive at the arena, it was time to really work hard. So we had big days, 2 or 3 big days we had before the premiere, where we were fine-tuning the choreography, voice rehearsal, singing rehearsal, acting rehearsal. So to make sure that for the big premiere at the Etihad Arena, we would be our best, and it went so well. We didn't have to stop. There was no technical problem. Nobody forgot a line. Everybody was so professional, and the biggest joy was to find each other again. Can you imagine how we missed each other? This cast is really like a family. I know some people tell you that all the time, but our gang is really, really strong. You can sit anywhere in the bus and 2 people will match and they will chat the entire time. You know, there's no little clique or the cool kid, the uncool kid, like everybody mixed. And we had new players too. We had people that are joining us for the first time because some performers had other engagement that they could not report. So even though it's been a long time and we had new players, everybody was pros, and the show went like a charm.
That's amazing to hear, and also to see as well. Like, obviously, you say that there were some people as well that couldn't return, but the amount of people that did return, I was really surprised. After such a big break, I was like, "Are we gonna have a new Shaggy, a new Daphne?" Like, but then everyone seemed to have kind of on that front come back, and that was just absolutely incredible to see. And you've spoken about how busy you were, with costume changes and character changes and everything like that. So I can appreciate that whenever you weren't touring, it was probably just a case of maybe relaxing a bit. But in terms of what you did see of Abu Dhabi and your interaction with the place, you've already spoken quite highly of it. Like, what were your favorite moments of just being there?
Oh, in Abu Dhabi, I have to tell you, we didn't have time to do much, sadly, because we arrived. We arrived like in the afternoon. We had the rest of the day to just chill. I think everybody went to bed, and then the next morning it was at 8 in the morning, and it was straight in the work. So the bus took us and took us to the arena, and then it was work, work, work until the last show. We were doing 2 shows a day, so we had to be all day at the arena. And then when the last show finished, they took us back to the hotel, and people were leaving the very night or the morning. So
wow.
we didn't see much of Abu Dhabi. We did see one thing. We went to visit the Great Mosque, which is incredible. The architecture is crazy good, and it's very serious place in the sense of we all had to cover, because I know some people think you have to cover all the time, wear hijab or cover your arms or stuff like that in the UAE, but no, not anymore, or not at all. It's only in a religious place that we need to be how do you say, well, anyway, to cover on those our hair for this specific place. But once we got the hang of it, because one had like the fabric was too translucent, the other one it was not. Well, when all the cast was nice and covered, we got to visit the Great Mosque by night, and even though it started to storm, it was wonderful, really beautiful, with all the structure that are lit up. And we also, the only other activity we could do is hang out in the spa of the hotel and also in the pool. And the first day we went to the beach, actually we went to the beach in Abu Dhabi, and that's pretty much it, the activity that we did in the city. But I will give you a couple of pictures if you want, and a couple of footage of those precious moments.
Oh, that's perfect. We'll be sure to, add them in as they all come up. That's fantastic, because it's definitely now on our, bucket list of places to go, as is, watching this show is on our bucket list of places to go. And obviously when we
And
spoke to, oh, sorry, what was it?
speaking of traveling,
yeah.
I arrived a little earlier because I have also a YouTube page, not as huge as yours, of course, but we are, with my husband, we're vloggers, like travel vloggers, and we have a page called Safe Troubles. And you're gonna get to see in one of the next episodes some of the behind the scene of the Scooby-Doo and the Lost City of Gold tour. So there will be some image of that, but there will always be there will be episodes about Dubai as well, a little bit of Abu Dhabi, and then Sri Lanka, because I didn't leave straight away. I went to Sri Lanka to discover another country after. So, and the Safe Trouble channel follow me as a puppeteer, doing world tour and exploring the world. So if you're looking for inspiration, where in the world should I go, just follow our channel and like and subscribe, and then you can follow me saying silly things with my husband as we travel the world as stage performers.
That
So I
is
think you're gonna
wonderful.
like it.
Oh yeah, I'll put like a visual up, and I'll also link it in the description as well, because if nothing else as well, like I can just watch and live vicariously through you about traveling and just good weather in general, because here in the UK it's very, as you know, probably it's very up and down, lots of rain, so it'll just be nice to see the sun again. So oh gosh, that's
The sun
incredible.
the sun just came out after a week in Montreal. It's been raining for a week. Now the sun is just out. It's gonna be out all afternoon because I'm earlier than you. I think. Yeah. I'm 5 hours earlier than you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hear you. It can get really depressing. And the weather in Abu Dhabi is hot and dry, and it's just it's just a sweet spot. The time of the year that we were with Scooby-Doo, it was not yet the hot season where it gets over 50 degrees or something. So it was just perfect.
Oh, I can
And it was
imagine.
sunny.
Oh.
It's just the sun on your skin. You're like, yay, I'm out of the cold and miserable weather.
I mean, it's so weird because I've been rallying for a Lost City of Gold tour in the UK, but then at the same time, it's kind of like, do I really want to subject all of the amazing cast and crew to the rain and the wind? And it's like, oh no.
Oh, you think we're scared of rain and wind? We're from Canada, my friend. We sometimes we come out of the house and
Oh
our car has
yeah.
disappeared under a blanket of snow. We it's like we come from Siberia, so we're not afraid of a little rain. Let me tell you
Oh,
that.
I miss Canada.
Just
Canada's a really cool place.
make us come to the UK. We want to come to the UK. And by the way, it was the first time that we were crossing the pond with
Mhm.
the Scooby-Doo and the
Oh
Lost
yeah.
City of Gold, because we did play in Canada and we played in USA a lot, but it was the first time that we put the sets and the puppets on a boat and crossed the other side of the ocean. But I hope it's not the last time. I'm finger crossed that we can get a lot of show in that part of the world, and in Europe would be awesome.
I mean, I know that when we spoke to Ella Louise Allaire about Mon Love and the future of Scooby-Doo, there's some really cool things coming up, like a new Looney Tunes show and hopefully more Scooby. But at the time of that happening, this last Scooby-Doo tour, was there any discussions about where the next locations might be, maybe a return to the US at all, or was it just, hey, that was a good showing, until next time?
Nothing is in is set, but we use the Abu Dhabi show as a showcase. So what Mon Love did is they invited some producers, because so the show in Abu Dhabi was produced by Theory 11, and they did an amazing job. And Etihad Arena staff welcomed us such a warm welcome. We really loved the team there, and Mon Love invited some other bookers or tour people that could take us to maybe Jordan and Egypt, and maybe Qatar, and maybe Dubai, maybe more shows in Abu Dhabi. So fingers crossed. But I know they're also working on things for Europe in 2025, but I'm not sure. I think the thing is they don't want us to be disappointed if Star doesn't align. I think they are working on stuff, but we are not necessarily aware until it's signed and in the pocket. This way we don't we're not too sad, but also they kind of have to tell us a bit in advance, because all of these talented casts, they have other shows and other projects. So it's to find a sweet spot of saying it soon enough that you don't lose your cast members, but not too soon that then they refuse other project,
Yeah.
and then in the end it doesn't finalize. So I'm a producer of shows as well in my other life when I'm not a performer, and I know that can be tricky.
Yeah, certainly it's important to get everything aligned properly, but we will keep hoping that that is the case very soon for the UK with the show. So I guess kind of in regards to wrapping things up a little bit, are there any other projects that you have going on at the moment that you're able to talk about?
Yes, I just wanted to, what I forgot to say that is a fun fact is Scooby-Doo and the Lost City of Gold at Etihad Arena was scheduled between Trevor Noah, that was just before us, and the show right after was Cirque du Soleil. Just to give you an idea of how prestigious the arena is, it's massive, and all the greatest go by Etihad Arena. It was such an honor for us to play there. We knew it was big, and there was poster like an LED, like big like a house, wow. and then we could see videos in LED of us on stage. It was an incredible feeling. And as for my projects, personal, not related to Scooby-Doo, my own project is this summer, my husband and I, we are presenting Majestic, which is our circus cabaret show. We are presenting it in a city called Arvida in Quebec, and we're gonna do 2 weeks in the last 2 weekends of July. And we're bringing all the best circus artists in the world. We're bringing cabaret legends. We're bringing circus performers that we know and love over the years. And we're bringing them to Arvida, which is a smaller city, but is close to a bigger city called Jonquière. And then we're going to bring the best of the world to the people there. Using it also as a showcase to tour Majestic in Canada. And I have another show called Bataille Royale, which is another concept that I will refine and prepare it for the other side of the ocean, on your side of the ocean. And what else? Doing a lot of extra work these days. I can also not tell the movies. There's a lot of secret in my profession. No, but there's a lot of secret in our profession. We never talk about that, but we're working on sets, on cinema sets, but we're not allowed to say what it is. I know things that you don't know yet, that movies that are not been announced yet that I know, because in Montreal there's a lot of cinema sets. The USA come and film here. Did you know that? There's a lot of that.
So yeah, we've heard. Not a lot. I didn't know that much, but that's incredible to hear that there's like unannounced things. That's brilliant.
So you can just be in the street and then have Ryan Reynolds pass next to you, and it's normal because we're used to it. There's so many cinema crew that comes from the US and come film in Canada, because we're lovelier. No, I don't know.
No, I mean, it's a lovely place, and as well, like, just hearing that from you at least gives us some hope that there's going to be some things to look forward to, because cinema had gone a little bit quiet for a while. So knowing that, it is on the way back and that there's going to be some exciting things to see is always really good news. But I mean, certainly the projects you were talking about that you're doing sound really exciting. So I know we talked about your YouTube page, but where else is a good place for people to keep up with your work?
My Cabaret de Cadance account on Instagram. Ooh, I took a bit because I don't go often on Instagram. That's a good place to keep up with the puppets of Cabaret de Cadance. There's also the page of Bataille Royale. That is a young page, but it's gonna get developed. And also there's Scooby Life Tour is always a good place to see images of Scooby-Doo on Facebook. And there's also an account of Scooby-Doo and the Lost City of Gold that is probably called Scooby Life Tour on Instagram as well. And if you want to see, if you're a big fan of the show, and you want to see all the little snippet that were filmed, like before and after costume thing or image from rehearsal and stuff, you can definitely go on the Theory 11 Entertainment Instagram account. And when you go in their little features on top, there's different shows, and there's a little puck that is a little yellow puck up there that says Scooby-Doo. Yeah, the highlight, the story highlight. And then there's a ton of it. I think that's the most massive. There's like at least 60 little snippet that you can find from kids enjoying the show, talking about the characters. I mean, when I say kids, I mean our audience members. And also on Etihad Arena as well, on the Mon Love Instagram. And for the rest, you can go on the website of Majestic, or follow Majestic, I should say it the proper way, Majestic, on Instagram as well. I will provide you with all the links to confuse you. And of course, if you want more of my silly face with my bad accent, you can follow Safe Troubles in one word on YouTube and see me get in trouble all over the planet.
Oh, that's brilliant. We can't wait. We can't wait. That's going to be absolutely fantastic. And it's just been incredible to have you back here again today. It's been so kind of awkward before because we had you on with our last format with just audio. Whenever we compiled like all the montages together, there were like a load of faces and then it was like a screenshot of Professor Falcone. So it's going to be great to have this update now. It's just incredible and it's been amazing to hear about, you know, what you're getting up to career-wise and also the latest Scooby-Doo tour as well. So thank you so much for coming on today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much. The honor is all mine, and I want to say hello to all your followers. Mwah, 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 mwah. I love you all. Thank you so much for listening to my interview. I don't know why you find me interesting. I don't find me interesting. No, I'm kidding. And it was especially good to see you too. I'm so happy to see you and to see that things are going better and for the best.
Oh, thank you. That's absolutely perfect. We definitely do find you interesting, as do the people here watching, because I know that this was
Oh.
quite a heavily requested one. So it's just amazing all around. So if you did enjoy this, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to check out all the links in the description down below, and we'll see you next time.
I wanted to thank you for coming to see Scooby-Doo and the Lost City of Gold with your wonderful little daughter. And I kiss you both. Mwah.